even taste with their feet, so that's why I put sugar on my fingers, because that'll entice them to, like, once they step on that, then they know there's sugar on it.
Be free!
This week, 8 years after the Kamehameha butterfly was designated as the Hawaii state insect, 80 of the stunning captive-raised butterflies were released in the Kauai Nui Marsh. This is both the culmination of and the beginning of an unusual path towards species conservation.
So we just released our first release of Kamehameha butterflies for this project here at Kauai Nui Marsh. We released 40 butterflies. We're going to release another 40 later today, and yeah, we're hoping to reestablish them here. We've done a lot of outplanting of the host plant Mamaki, and we're hoping they establish here, and then we're going to be doing this at other sites in the Ko'ola Mountains.
There you go. Beautiful.
Back in 2009, a small group of fifth graders at Pearl Ridge Elementary engaged in a project that captivated them. For their teacher, it wasn't enough to simply teach about government and how legislation is created. She challenged her students to introduce a bill to designate the first state insect. The subsequent chain of events can be likened to the butterfly effect. That concept was first coined by meteorologists to explain how small causes can have large effects.
So Kamehameha butterflies are pollinators. They're one of only 2 native butterflies in Hawaii, and so they're a really unique part of our biodiversity. They're not found, the species is not found anywhere else in the world. So they pollinate native plants. The caterpillars are food for our native birds. So they fill, you know, as far as butterflies, we only have those 2 native species, so if we lose those, we're losing that whole functional group of organisms.
One of the students at that time said after narrowing their search to 2 finalists, the class voted.
You're so beautiful. Look at that.
It was between the Kamehameha butterfly, or Pulele hua, and the Hawaiian happy-faced spider. She recalls, "We figured having a spider wouldn't be great since a lot of people don't like them, and felt the butterfly represented the islands better since it was named after King Kamehameha." While not yet endangered, the Pulele hua had been disappearing from areas like Tantalus and the southern Ko'olau Mountains, where it had previously been common.
We don't want to overdo it, so we're kind of starting out with relatively small numbers, and then if that doesn't work, we'll kind of release more over time. And we'll be, that's also something we're doing to maximize genetic diversity, so we want to use, you know, do not just one release, but we'll probably follow it up with a different genetic stock to make sure there's different genetics represented.
The class's wish has now been realized through a combination of public interest and hard work by numerous partners. On release day, staff from the DLNR Division of Forestry and Wildlife surround a mesh carrier filled with butterflies. Almost immediately, the first one flies up toward the treetops to the group's delight.
I'm taking you home.
Look there.
Dr. William Haynes, a University of Hawaii research entomologist, was hired through the UH Center for Conservation Research and Training to lead reintroduction efforts.
This is our butterfly exclosure or butterfly house, and inside the butterfly house, this is where we have the butterflies mate. So we've collected wild females from the wild and brought them into the lab to get eggs, and then the descendants from those butterflies, once we rear them out, we put them in this cage, and the cage has 2 partitions, and in one of the partitions we have males from one female and females from the other female, so those will cross breed, and then in the other cage we have the reciprocal cross, so the opposite.
The breeding program has been so effective that taking care of caterpillars has become a full-time job. With an entire life cycle of only about 45 days, turnaround times are quick. For Cynthia King of the Division of Forestry and Wildlife, this week's release was the culmination of many years of dedication. She says this project is a perfect example of how we can use research, public engagement, and partnerships to successfully conserve a species before it's too late. We've had amazing support so far and look forward to working with any new partners that want to help us recover the Pulele hua. From a humble class project 8 years ago to Earth Day 2017, The first wild release of an at-risk species has been an exciting and interesting journey for the Pulelehua, Hawaii's real-life butterfly effect.